Okay, so we have this hole here with a few drop stitches at the bottom. So I'll take my crochet hook to begin with and turn the jumper inside out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook up the drop stitches so that the hole's a bit smaller to start with, like so. And then I'll turn my jumper back over and we can start to darn. And take my little speed weave over here. And this is like the base piece, so this is the sort of darning mushroom. And then this clips in over the top. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to get some waste yarn. Like so, and I'm going to put the darning mushroom behind. And I'm probably going to pop it this way up. Like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some waste yarn, pull it slightly taut over the darning mushroom like so. And I'm just going to wrap it around the edge, pulling it gradually tighter so it sort of holds roughly in place. And then I'm going to take the top piece of my speed weave and grab a little rubber band and pop it around the edge. The rubber band gives it a bit more friction to hold everything in place nicely. So then that's all set up, ready to go. I'm going to take a few different colours of thread in order to darn this so I can have a nice sort of tartan look. So I'll grab a few different colours. And thread up a few different needles with about 1.5 meters worth of thread. There's one. Everything will get stuck together now. Second. And then actually I fancy a bit of orange, so I'll change that. Have this as my third. Like so. So I tend to start with quite a neutral colour, so I'll start with my white. And I'll leave a long tail at the edge and come up on the right hand side just of the hole like so. And then I'll slip it underneath the cable, which is quite fortunate this jumper has cables in because I can do this mend a little bit more discreetly. And I'll find the hook that is perpendicular. I'll move the hooks to the right hand side that I'm about to start using, hook it around, then I'll anchor my thread down, and this creates our first warp thread, and I'll bring it up again through the other side of the cable like so, take a hook, flip it over, and create our second warp thread, ensuring that we have just a little bit of tension so everything holds in place. And the third thread, like so. It's quite a big hole, this one. Got my tail caught in there. That will probably happen a few times. And then pull the hook across. Now's probably a good time to bring in another colour, so I'll just leave the white to one side and pick up this rather nice little thread. Again, I'll start my thread with a long tail on the edge of my work so it's not in the way. I'll sort out the ends after. I'll flip hook across. Ah, goodness, I should have gone under. There we go. across. And then I'll start a little orange thread. Again, starting my tail nice and far away. Oh, my needle's a bit short, but pull it through here, like so. Make sure that the other warp threads are taut as I go. I'll pick up the thread and hook it around the next hook. Then I'll go back to a different colour thread again. I'll just do a couple of little small subtle tacking stitches along the edge. I quite like the look of the men being fairly visible, so I don't mind if some of the stitches are slightly visible on this occasion. I'll bring it up over here, take it over the next warp thread, like so. And then move the next hook across. That's probably enough warp threads for us to start working. I might just do a little white thread on the side just to even out that tartany check look. Just moving it down the side of the cable, making sure that the last warp thread is fairly taut. Pull that across and do one last stitch on the side before we start doing our weft threads, like so. I'll make a few little tacking stitches to find a good starting point. Make sure that all our final threads are fairly taut, so they're ready to go. And I'll just bring it up on the left hand side of the hole, just making one little anchor stitch down the side here. What we're going to do is we're just going to weave our needle above the top threads, and then anchor our stitch underneath a few stitches, go back on ourselves. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the hooks so they're facing the other direction, and that should bring the opposite threads to the top. A little bit stuck together for the first row, then we make sure that it's nice and tight when we pull it across, push down the previous threads, and then we anchor our stitch again on the other side. Just make sure I have a little bit less tail. Then we push our threads back across again and anchor the stitch, and then we can just go under